Uh, click on like. I'm gonna try it. See if it works. Yeah, it's called Demon Souls, but it's now broadcasting this game. Yeah. So if you just replay from the same link, it's like replaying the same 30-minute Demon Souls. But if you click on my name, it goes to my channel, and then you click on live, and then it shows the live one. Okay, so you see my screen? Okay. Okay, now see how our hotbars look basically the same now? This is right, this is left, this is right, left, and then this is left, right. You got those? It's like probably 6 seconds delayed or something. Yeah? Do we have the same hotbars? You mean I don't know what you're saying. You're saying the 8 abilities I have above the cross hotbar? Yeah, those are the ones I'm going to tell you about to see if you like those and if you want them, okay? So that whole row of like a regular hotbar of 8 abilities, the only reason it exists is not to actually push buttons. The reason it exists is just to show me that whether that ability is up on cooldown or not. So if I cast Lucid Dreaming, that would be left trigger, right. Yes? Yeah, mute the channel. Just turn the volume down on it to 0 on whatever you're watching it on. You tap on the screen and you tap the speaker icon and it mutes. Uh, that actually doesn't work on the phone. I'm on the phone trying it. That actually doesn't work on the phone. Media volume. Are we talking on your phone or on the PlayStation? Oh, I was talking on my PlayStation. Uh, if you drag media volume down, does it mute just the YouTube? I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay. So, our crossbars look the same, but the bar above it, I have, and I'm going to tell you what I use it for. Ready? Okay. So I don't use that bar to actually press buttons. I only use it for visibility. So if I wanted to cast Lucid Dreaming, I would have to hold left trigger, then right trigger, then press A, and you see that me doing that in a few seconds on the stream. And then when I let go of the triggers, it goes back to my main crossbars, and I can no longer see the lucid dreaming ability because it was on left trigger, right trigger A, right? But now on my extra above hotbar that I only use for monitoring cooldowns, I can see that my lucid dreaming ability in the upper right is like has 30 seconds left on its cooldown. See that? So that's the only reason that exists is I use that bar just to put extra copies of a few abilities to like show me whether or not that's on cooldown. And so the two on the right are my two mana abilities because I should be casting Lucid Dreaming and Thin Air to like regen my mana basically every time they're available on cooldown, almost. You know what I mean? If I want to keep my mana up, then I want to cast Lucid Dreaming every 60 seconds, and I want to cast Thin Air like not exactly every 2 minutes, but like often, like almost every 2 minutes, you know? And then similarly, those next two are just like a couple minute cooldown, like instants. One is an instant heal Tetragrammaton, and one is an instant AoE protection bubble asylum. And I don't know. I just have them there just so I can see whether Asylum is available or not, mostly. Because Tetragrammaton is available on the front hotbar, but I don't look down there for monitoring cooldowns. I look at the thing above it for monitoring cooldowns. So then similarly, the next two are like a super healing cooldown called Temperance, and another super healing cooldown called Plenary Indulgence. And those are just like super high level healing cooldowns. You could ignore them and you don't have to use them even when you get to that level. Like all those extra cooldowns you get at very high level are like pretty excessively unnecessary. Unless you play very, very high level play, then like you kind of want to be using those to just buff your capability. You can always make up for not using those by just having better gear, you know? Anyway, and then the upper left two are whether my Swift Cast is available and Presence of Mind is available, which are hidden under left trigger, right trigger. So I can always Swift Cast Raise, and so that is like a pattern you're going to want to practice instead of using a macro, because the old way to do everything was with like a custom macro where you write out a series of commands that cast Swift Cast and then cast Raise. And that's actually not very sustainable, is what I learned, is that the macros suck. And what you really want to do is just get better at practicing all your abilities in order very quickly. And so what you should practice to res is like select the party member by going down, down X or whatever, down, down A, right? And then you press left trigger, right trigger, Y up. And what that does is it Swift Cast Raises. You want to try that? Yeah, but you can press it and it Swift casts and then it says error on limit break, invalid target, or on brace, right? So I mean, you could do the same thing by left trigger, right trigger, Y, like A or something, and it's equivalent practice, except you know that would, if you pressed up, it would do the 8-second raise instantly. And so that's just like a pattern I press once in a while when I'm panicking to like make sure that I know how to instantly res somebody, like muscle memory, you know? So now let me explain all the bars because they're fun, okay? Right trigger A is regen, and the reason it's there is because it's like the easiest thing to do while running. It's the instant you can do while running with your left stick. And then right trigger, left trigger, the other 4 face buttons, like Tetragrammaton is an instant heal while you're running. Divine Benison is an instant heal while you're running. And Afflatus Solus is an instant heal while you're running, but you have to have like petals earned up. So the right trigger face buttons besides regen, even though you're not high enough level for them yet, like that's the most important spot to have those buttons available while you're running at high level play. And so as soon as you get to that level, it'll already be on the perfect spot on your hotbar. Does that make sense? So right trigger B is Divine Benison, which is like a 30-second cooldown instant heal, and right trigger Y is a Tetragrammaton, a 60-second cooldown instant heal, and right trigger X is Apholis Solus, which is an instant heal that you need to have a pedal saved up to use it, but whatever they call those fucking things, I forgot. Okay, so then the right trigger arrows are like the cast time ones. Since you're not going to need your left thumb on the stick to move, then it's fine to have all the cast time things there. So you have Cure, and Cure 2, and Asuna, and Benediction is the only exception. It's an instant, but it's like so rare that you would use it, and there aren't 4 cast time abilities. It's just there instead of on the instant side. But if you really want to swap Benediction with one of the 4 on the right, you could, but I wouldn't because you use it left often. But if you really want to, you could swap it with one of those 4 you don't use as much. Cool? Okay, so that's the 4 on the right. Then the ones on the left. These are mostly attacks. So the 8 on the right are mostly heals, the 8 on the left are mostly attacks. So left trigger A is Arrow or Dia because that's instant. So you can left trigger A like while you're running after a mob as long as you have the right target, right? But then left trigger down you have to stop for, and it has cast time because it's stone or glare, right? So that's the same thing as on the right. It's like that's the kind of pattern that I replicate with almost every class. Almost every class, the ones on the right are like heals or some kind of primaries, and the face is instant, and the arrows are cast time. And on the left, of the controller, that's correct. So mostly, I mean, it's not perfect because every class doesn't have exactly the same number of cast time versus instants. Like some classes, they're almost all instant, and some classes, they're almost all cast time. So I have to break my rules here and there. But that's the kind of pattern I try to do as much as possible. Okay, so then Holy is left trigger up. So that's cast time AoE. So on this class, the single targets are the A and down, and the AoE are the up and Y. And left trigger square or X. Left trigger X is an instant AoE attack and heal. That's like a unique weird one, but you can do that while running because it's instant once every 45 or 60 seconds or something. But I don't know if you have that yet. And then left trigger sprint, I mean, sometimes you do want to sprint while you're already running, and so that's annoying that it's not on a face button, but I couldn't find a face button to put it on. So sometimes I actually reach my hand over with my right hand. I put my thumb all the way over to sprint if I really need to. That's not ideal, but you can fix it if you want. Anyway. Now, if you right trigger, left trigger, and you get to set 4, you have set 4 AoEs. Okay? So all the AoEs that have cast times, Medica 2 is like the most common, so it's down, and then Medica 1 is left, and then Cure 3 is up. In general, I just go most common at the bottom, and then Cure 3 is an AoE, but it's a very small AoE. So watch how when we stand this close together, it affects both of us, right? But if we stand even this far apart, I think it might be out of range. Oh, no, that's barely in range. This is probably out of range. So it's a very small AoE. See how Cure 3, we're out of range here? But Medica and Medica 2, we are in range here because it's a much wider range. Medica and Medica 2, the range is something like 20, 25 meters. And Cure 3 is something like 5 or 10 meters. It's like really short. So Cure 3 only works as an AoE when you very well coordinate the party to stack. In a raid, that would be everyone literally standing like this. When everybody stacks like this on like one exact corner, like if you say stack on this little rectangle, if everyone stands exactly on the rectangle and you're standing this close together, then you can Cure 3 heal the group really effectively. So it only works in certain groups where where everyone definitely runs to the exact same corner of the map or whatever. But when you do that, it's it's way stronger than Medica or Medica 2. You can see it's I cast for 20 or 35,000, whereas Medica 2 is 8,000 plus regen, and Medica 1 is 12,000. So it's way stronger. But then the instant AoEs are on the right. So the instant AoE X, or A, sorry, instant AoE A, you have to hit A again and target the ground, but that's this AoE damage reduction bubble. And then Watt, you can, but you have to target it on the ground and hit A again, which is a little hard. But they're just grouped up because it's kind of instant. So then Y is Temperance, which I kind of forgot. It's some kind of buff because you don't have like 4 AoE instant heals. I think this is a healing buff, and Planetary Indulgence is a different healing buff. And there's a reason I put them in those two spots, but they're basically AoE healing buffs. And then if you left trigger, right trigger, you have all the weird exceptional things. So the left trigger, right trigger, the two bottom ones are the mana abilities. Those are the most important ones. We already did Y up. Y up would be Swift Gust raise, but A and down are your two mana regions that you're going to be doing all the time. And then the other 4 are really situational, weird things. So rescue, like, pulls a tank. And presence of mind is some kind of buff that I kind of forgot what it does. Spell cast times are reduced. Yeah, that's just like make everything go a little faster. It's kind of like Swift Cast. And then Limit Break is really situational, and then the mount is on the same spot as sprint, except with left trigger, right trigger. So is that a cool setup? Do you want to try healing a party? Want to go fight some random mobs because we're on the same server? Yeah, pick some random mobs and I'll change to a damage class. Whatever level area you are. You're like 50, so... what's the level 50 area? Okay. Are we running? Okay. Uh, yeah, this is my. You got a flying mount, Russ. Okay, where are you at? I don't know. I don't know how to fly. Oh, I found it. Okay. Yeah, they must have added this. There used to be certain areas you could fly in and certain areas you couldn't. And this was an area you couldn't before. Level 49 fate. Level sync. Quartz Doblins. Uh, let's see if I remember how to do these abilities. Okay, here's my jump in repost shit, Russ. Okay, never mind. Too late. I just got everything charged up. That's how long it took me to charge up all my red mage shit. Yeah, how do I heal? Fucking, I forgot. How's your stones? Your stone abilities. Your casting stones. Stone twos. How's your stone twos? I don't know. Where you wanna go? You want to try to heal a low-level dungeon? I mean, you're mostly just going to be casting Cure and Regen and Cure 2 maybe and Medica maybe. And you know how to get to those, right? So if you need to practice targeting the party, you can practice targeting me right now. Try hitting me with a Regen and a Cure and a Cure 2 and a Raise and a Medica. And then you're ready to go. That's really it. Cool. All right, you want to try? Am I a leader? Hook you. Leveling. Oh, we can queue for a specific one if you're comfortable with a certain level. Like, what level were you comfortable with White Mage at? Level 30 or something? Hawk Manor, Brave Fox Longstop. Like, what was the last one you did? Yeah. Okay. Well, then my suggestion would be to just do one right after that. So either Brave Fox or Karn. Karn's level 35. So it would have like Karn would be like this. Not really. I mean, nothing's. Uh, I don't really remember that. I mean, none of them are that hard anymore. Like people just blow through it. Let's do Karn because I don't know what you're talking about. So. It says 5 minutes. Oh, there we go. Yes. And I don't really know what I'm doing, but it should be fine. Nah, it's fine. It's level 35. Uh, Man, did they take that out like a million years ago? I think that doesn't even exist. Oops. Oh man, my AoE rotation is the opposite. I fucked up. It's gonna take me a while to get used to my rotation. Oh yeah, yeah. Generally, you don't want to have regen on when he goes to the next pole. You want to let it expire. A lot of tanks. I mean, an advanced tank could handle it, but it's preferable to not have regen on him when until after he pulls, because it'll take like aggro by default and stuff. Yeah. Basically, if you get a debuff, you have to run to the right like thing on the floor to cure it. So when the thing glows on the ground, if you have the debuff, then you run onto it. Something. I don't know what that was. I guess oh, there's a thing on the ground. You have Doom. You walk on that to take it off. Oh, I have it too. Okay, I got it off. Yeah, we're good. I think he interrupted that. Oh, we all have it. We all gotta walk on this thing. We got it. Can you hear my weapon every time I pull it out? Isn't that great? That's alright. Just keep casting Cure on him. As long as he doesn't die, it doesn't matter. And even if he dies, just practice. Left trigger, right trigger, Y up. And plus, I could do it too. Or maybe I don't have Vera Raise yet with this character, actually. You just attack the stone, or don't attack anything, you know. Just try not to stand in front of him, basically. And then when the stone breaks, then we DPS the boss. Oh yeah, there's some AoEs on this one. you go. Nobody died. Good job, Dress. Everybody healthy and safe. I don't know why we're going that way. I don't know why we're going that way. That's where we came from, isn't it? The hell? Thought we go this way. I don't know which one that is. Fail. Okay, I gotta feed these animals. It was a big pull, but it was fine. attention, so hopefully he has been. This one you gotta do them in the right order based on something that you looked at earlier. I let somebody else do it. Okay, so this one, like, it similarly has the Doom mechanic on the thing, and then the rest is just figured out. It's like that. It's not too hard. Like you sometimes get trapped inside a thing, and then you have to fight it like alone if nobody went in there with you. I'll just stand next to you. Maybe it'll be easier. Okay, we're gonna stand next to this thing and fight it or something, and we're gonna get trapped in here with it or something. Okay, I killed it. That one over there, somebody needs to fight, and he got trapped in there with it. And we have to lead the Sundrer over to one of these platforms. Bring it over here if you have aggro. Yeah, the tank has to put it on a thing. The tank is being dumb, I think. Like we have to get that guy to go on a platform, I think. We killed it in the wrong place. Yeah, I don't have aggro, so the tank is being dumb. Or he's ignoring the mechanic, which is probably fine. It means we're all going to take some more damage or something. There you go. I'm going to feed the animals real quick, AFK. Be right back. I forgot to pass on the loot. How'd it go, Bress? How'd it go? Yeah. How'd you like those button mappings? There you go. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on the White Mage one. I like it a lot. I healed raids with that setup. And then whenever you do higher level and you get a new ability, like it's already on your hotbar in the right place. You just have to figure out when you want to use it, you know. So if you just did level 35 stuff, but your healer's level 50, then let's look at what abilities you have that you haven't used yet. So you have Holy now. So if you do a level 50 dungeon or 45, you get to do AoE Holy whenever you're bored. So, you know, you don't have to, but if you get good and you're bored, then you spam Holy. Benediction is a level 50 like emergency cure. So if you just panic and the tank is at 10% health or whatever, you just hit Benediction, and it's right on. You can see it. It's right trigger up, and so whenever you want that instant full heal, it's like once every 10 minutes or something. And you might as well just use it, like to practice using it, right? Just use it as soon as you get a little panicky in a dungeon, and even if you're not even that panicky, you just want to plan to use it. You're like, I'm going to let this tank get to 10%, and then I'm going to cast Holy, or Benediction, right? Like, oh, I'm going to let you get hit by that eyeball, and then cast Benediction on you, right? Boom, Benediction. I just healed you for your entire health, right? That's how you practice that new ability, right? So what's another one? So 45 is Holy, 50 is Benediction, Cure 3 is 40. Like, nobody ever uses Cure 3. You can basically ignore it. Regen is 35. So you already know Regen. Probably Regen's the best. Oh, that's why you're not used to it, because you just got it at level 35. So, yeah, the only thing to be aware of with Regen is, like, if you have it on a tank before he pulls, if he face pulls anything, right? If all he does is he gets an eyesight of an enemy, he has no aggro on that enemy except like aggro level 0 because he hasn't done anything to it except walked in its line of sight. But but because you have regen on him, you have more aggro than him. You have like whatever heals for 5 hit points on him, right? So you're actually going to pull aggro from him face pulling. So some tanks make a habit of face pulling by just walking into a group of guys and then casting an AoE, right? And depending on the tank and what abilities they have, that might be how they need to pull like every time. And so you don't want to have regen on those people. But some tanks have like a ranged AoE pull or something, and then it's not going to be a problem on those, right? So that's the only thing to be aware with regen. Otherwise, it's fucking great. And then Medica 2, you get at level 50. It's basically just baller Medica with regen built in. And then Cure 2 at level 30. Arrow 2, that's just stronger arrow. So everything up to 50 is just like kind of easy peasy. Benediction, Holy are fun. They're just, and Medica 2, they're just fun. That was OG max cap level. And so that was like the final ability I got was Benediction when I played before. And then everything post 50, if you start leveling up, then you'll learn what it is when you get it from the story quests. But you're not going to get them unless you do the story quests. So what else you got? You got a paladin? Is that what that is? We're level 50. Oh, my warrior's way low. I can't help you with that. I do have paladin though. So I'm not great at paladin, but I have a good hotbar set up if you want it. But if you want to do it later, I could take pictures of it, or I could tell you what it is right now if you want. Sure. Do we have the same outfit? Dope. What about my abilities though? Or my I got a glowy shield. I like this glowy shield. Dude, your sword is dope. You got the like artifact sword? I think you did the sword quest thing. Yeah, I didn't do that quest. That was like a lot of work back in that day. Okay. Okay. One last question. I want to know what story quest you're on. So, let me find out where that is. How do I find it? Is it under journal? Quests, complete. Okay. So, journal, quests, complete. Uh, what does it say? Does it say Heavensward seventh Umbral era main scenario quests? Is that what it's under? And then it's called what? Do you know what level it is? Okay, I'm looking. Okay, so you beat the seventh Umbral era. Oh, okay. You're on the seventh Astral era. It's possibly a primal. I have that. So basically, you're at the beginning of the post-game content of the level 50 post-game. So Heavensward is the name of the first expansion that they released. And it's the areas that begin at level 50 and go to 60. And it's like a whole new town called Ishgard and a bunch of new areas and dungeons and stuff. Up near Camp Dragonhead. You probably went to Camp Dragonhead. Remember that? So north of Camp Dragonhead, you walk across a bridge to get to Ishgard, but you kind of fly across it, and you can't go there until you do the story quest. So basically, if you continue that story quest through like a bunch more like post game content quests, then you'll get to Ishgard and the post level 50 areas in Heavensward. And that is where they have like this big rebuilding of Ishgard, like crafting series of quests that I don't know anything about. But if you're into crafting, like that's you'll love Ishgard. So yeah, that's really the next step to take if you wanna pursue this character and unlocking the new stuff. All right, sure. I mean that is my favorite thing. Like once you have a good hotbar, it's easy to play that class. Uh, and because it takes like it took me a few hours or whatever to like choose a good hotbar setup for each class probably. So I could tell you the hotbar setup I have for a level 50 paladin, but I don't know how good it is post level 50 because it's not. I'm not sure I have it set up for level 80. I think I have it. It looks like I have all the level 80 abilities on there, so it might actually be okay for level 80. But anyway, yeah. All right, take it easy. See ya.